hoping that I'll be somebody one day. Not just a lost cause halfway house. I want a big green lawn that goes on. And a family that loves me, yeah, that would be so sweet. Lemonade in the shade and cold brew iced tea, yeah, I can picture it now. I'm gonna make it somehow, I'm gonna make it somehow. I wasted too much time trying to feed myself, trying to be like everybody else. Cause I thought what I wanted was be wanted by the wrong crap. That part of town, going nowhere, hellbound, chained to the same lame brain, wanna be daydream. Just a loser with a bad team, yeah, but that's all in the past now. I'm going fast now, going fast now. I've been knocked down, kicked around, losing my footing all over town. Found flat on my face right into the ground. I've been lost all my life, but I finally found out of the storm and into the clouds. I'm homeward bound, I was lost and found. Hoping that I'll be somebody one day. Not just a lost cause, nowhere in town. I want a great big house with a loving spouse and kids that really love me, yeah, that would be so sweet. Lemonade in the shade and cold brew iced tea, yeah, I can picture it now. I'm gonna make it somehow, I'm gonna make it somehow. I've been knocked down, kicked around, losing my footing all over town. Found flat on my face right into the ground. I've been lost all my life, but I finally found out of the storm and into the clouds. I'm homeward bound, I was lost and found. I've been knocked down, kicked around, losing my footing all over town. Found flat on my face right into the ground. I've been lost all my life, but I finally found out of the storm and into the clouds. I'm homeward bound, I was lost and found.
Good evening. How we doing? Happy Friday. Fuck. Oh, it's gonna be really annoying today, isn't it? Oh, fuck it out. Okay. I felt bad. I felt bad that we hadn't streamed. I went on Stars and we argued about Sunday and Doom Mama for a bit. But I was like, oh, I wanna do something fun. So I was like, maybe we can read a little bit. I like a little bit of reading. So maybe that is a thing we can do that'll be fun. I'm not sure if this will work. Will this work? Yes, it will. Give me a second. I might just put it on the screen here. And then have the main cam up, because the less of this I show to you, like, the better. And I'm going to be reading it anyway and talking about it. So, I was kind of interested when people told me that Shad had written a book. I had actually forgotten he'd done this. I'd completely fucking forgotten. It is called Shadow of the Conqueror. Chronicles of Everfall. It's Saturday, Beckett. Shut up, Hellbent. I'm kidding, I love you. You're fine. Listen, it's Friday until I fucking slept, okay? So, somebody mentioned this when I was going over Shad, and I was like, God, fuck. It can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. It's fucking long. We're not getting through all of it. So for those of you who don't know, or who I've never... You know, my mum was an author. I grew up around 3 people and writing and shit. It made me a complete fucking elitist. I like the fact he has maps in this. I will give him that. I like the maps. I made a map for a friend of mine recently who's writing things. I made a map for his book. And mine is better. Mine's so much better. Okay. So yeah, that's there you go. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, welcome to your Friday night reading with Beckett stream. I do you know, fuck, Shad's one of these people that I've watched for years as well. Like, he's a really interesting figure on the internet because he went through this period where he was like hyper fucking legit. Where it was what's a good way to put it? He did like a lot of crossovers with different people, and those people don't mention that they have crossovers with him anymore. We should probably tell you everything you need to know about Shad. The pro rate book. The pro rate book. I've heard it referred to as that. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a fresh read. I have read the first page, and then I was like, yeah, I'll go live and read it there. That seems to make sense. That seems to be the way to do this. Bible reading when? Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Fuck, I know that Kid Not Kin's done this whole Save Kid Nation thing. You know, he's a friend. I've known Kid for a while now. I've still not asked him why he's doing that. I hope it's for a good reason. I mean, I'm sure it will be. Actually, I just hope he's doing well. But yeah, maybe I'll do something like that. If I ever go broke, you'll know, because I'll do like a live read to the end of the Bible. The Sellsword Arts rivalry with Shad is great. Yeah, I've really enjoyed that. Imagine having a rivalry with somebody so much hotter than you. Like, I mean, I don't know much about Sellsword Arts, but like, I'm like, listen, if you invited me around and were like, hey, do you want to dress up in some like medieval clothing? I'd be like, yes, please. That sounds hot. I'm wearing. I've bought like loads of like loose fitting, like almost a bit sort of like older style clothing recently. This is one of them. It's nice. It's linen-y. Like, it's because I'm boiling to death. Weapon videos were popping for a while, but he adapted in all the wrong ways. Yeah. Spoiler, Jesus died. You can't give spoilers for the Bible. That's fucking bullshit. You're going to hell, hellbent. It's appropriate. And then Skullgrim getting mad whenever someone mentioned Chef. Yeah, I think it was interesting. Like, I think I covered... I don't know whether I covered or I watched it with Diesel. I might have watched it with Diesel when he did the whole kind of... one of the members was leaving. Medieval Riz. Yeah, I wish. Good evening, someone. How you doing? Also, Demon. Demon was writing. Oh, fucking Shadiversity novel. Love it. Live reading Lily Orchard fanfiction. Donate to stop the stream. I'll be honest with you. I'm aware of that fanfiction. There's a reason it can't be read on stream. I'm not even sure it's like fucking... That shit's fucking bad. I have actually read some of Orchard's less illegal fanfiction on stream. It's weird, and it's bad. Like, as in badly written. But it's... Look, I think... Actually, I suppose some of you might not know my opinions on Orchard. So Orchard is somebody who I've talked about, I think, kind of at length, actually. And I've like DM'd back and forth with Courtney as well. We are doomed if Beckett reads a Shad's book. Yeah, well, we're gonna get into it. I got it on Kindle. I went and bought it. I was like, $7.99. That'll be fine. It's worth it. It's worth it for stream content. So this is a legally purchased copy. If you're wondering, did I try and pirate it? Yes, I did. I couldn't, because no one cares enough. No one cares enough to put a PDF up of this shit. Tyler has torn apart this book. He is also an author, so I'm eager to hear your take on it. Yeah, I can. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Tyler is like ripped into it. I mean, my early impressions are that it's just... There's an author I really like called David Eddings. Okay? Bear with me here. Because I'm going to say something that sounds like an insult, but I want you to keep in mind I really fucking like David Eddings, okay? I grew up reading, like, the Balgaran and the Maloran. Like, love Eddings stuff. But Eddings has this thing where he will spend, like, 2 pages describing what somebody's wearing, and the books are, like, there's a lot in the series for quite a condensed amount that happens because Edding writes very, very detailed fantasy, and it's a particular type of, in my opinion, American fiction where they don't allow the audience really to have an imagination. They're like, he was wearing 2 different colored socks, okay, reader, we gotta be fucking clear about this, and one of those socks was purple and there was a prostitute. It's just like, okay, thanks Dave. I really like this book. So I'm sort of expecting Shad to be like that. That's my expectation going in, because Shad is somebody who likes the sound of his own voice. Well, Shad's book Pirate the Seven Seas for free as a PDF. Really? It's interesting. I might, depending on how this goes. Okay. QTV has read David Eddings. It's fucking great. Yeah, I love Eddings. David Eddings is what got me into actually reading for fun. Anyway, okay, that's enough preamble. We won't demon mummer it. That's what I'm going to call it now. When you do too much preamble, you're demon mumming it. Okay. Oh, please bear in mind I'm also dyslexic, so this will always be interesting. Chapter 1. My name is Dalen Namaran, but most knew me as the Great Bastard, the Scourge of Nations, Dalus, the Conqueror. Yes, contrary to what everyone believes, I'm not dead. This is no jest. Honestly, who would claim to be me? You'll find enough evidence in my home to prove what I say. I know this revelation will distress most people who survived my rule. Enrage that I escaped punishment, but I haven't. That 20 years I spent in hiding have been torture, where death would have offered me the rest I desire. Oh, God. Is this what the whole novel is like? Ooh, the edge? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Christ. Do you know, okay, so I was, so I'm pretty open about the fact that I play D&D with FPS Diesel. We play D&D together, and I do a vampire game for them and stuff. I have a lot of fun doing that. And one of the things that we talk about, because we're both DMs, is players will often come with like a character that's like, my character is an exiled noble whose parents were murdered in front of him while his sister was being raped. He's got a tragic backstory. And then they will spend the entire game acting like a complete fool. It's it's like the fucking meme. Now, we got talking about this because I was making a character for a one-shot, and I just made a monk. I made a changeling monk who was drunken fist, and I was like, Diesel, I want something. I want a staff that gives me Misty Step whenever anyone swings for me. Whether the hit would have landed or not, there is a roll, and if it rolls correctly, the staff will Misty Step me, which is an objectively, cursed item, because you can be in the middle of the fight doing really well, someone can strike for you, wouldn't have hit you at all, and you can be thrown halfway across the room. Really stupid character, but fun. And that's the difference between, an experience, not everything needs to be fucking edge, not everything needs to be serious. You can just be a drunken monk with a staff that, I kid you not, I named the Mother Staff because it's like a helicopter parent weapon. No, my child! It's like, that'd be so much fun to play. Still haven't played the one shot, I really want to. This is some of the best bits back it gets bad. Fantastic. My torment comes not from my fall from power, or that I lived in squalor, but because of my endless guilt. This is like one of those things. Listen, okay, I know that I conquered nations and oppressed people, but actually the real victim is me. I feel so guilty, guys. Fuck, okay. Yes, that's right. I, Dalus the Conqueror, decree I was in every way the despicable tyrant the world claims I was. I murdered, raped, pillaged, and ravaged the world, all in the name of the Dawn Empire. Would you believe that? In all my actions, I thought I was serving the greater good? Regardless, I've come to know nothing justifies what I've done. I wish there was a way I could fix things, to go back in time and change it all. But what is done, and I'm left to hate myself more than any person alive. God. Hey, Teddy, 499. Did someone say rape? Thanks, buddy. Can't you see I'm the real victim? Peasant who's impaled on a spike? Jesus Christ. It fucking reads like one of his YouTube openings. Is anyone surprised? Oh. I cannot express in words the depths of my shame. Every hour is agony. It's Boogie. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain. Help me, Dan. I would have ended my life years ago, if not for the knowledge shining through my soul that I deserve such a profound form of torture. But now my aged body fails, and death draws near, which I welcome as a long-awaited, if undeserved, gift. I could wait out the few fools I have left, but if I am to die, I'll see it done my own way. The world should be free of Daedalus the Conqueror once and for all, and to that end I plan to cast myself from the continent. I know, poetic. Unlike your writing, Shad, which is objectively shit. We sort him now. Good evening, Hots. How you doing, buddy? 499 from Teddy. Look, all I'm saying is, if I was a rapist, I would hope I would be a rapist that would hate myself more than any living person. What the fuck am I meant to do with that as a comment? Thank you for the 499. I leave this letter so the world will know the truth. Daedalus the Conqueror died hating himself and his whole life. As meaningless as these words are, I'm sorry. I leave the world worse for my having lived in it, and go to embrace the endless hell I so rightly deserve. If I am lucky, perhaps I will be cast into outer darkness, and my existence destroyed. Numeran, also known as Daedalus the Conqueror. Does anyone else think Shad's particularly proud of the title Daedalus the Conqueror? Do you think Shad likes that? That seems like a title that Shad likes. Fucking hell. I mean, it's okay. Okay, straight up. If you're gonna write a novel like this, you want to create an environment where your reader cares about this character. If your opening is, "Hey guys, I hate myself. You should have sympathy for me, but I know that I, oppressed the fucking world," probably in a reader going to create a situation where the reader doesn't much fucking care, actually. You've got a nice reading voice at least. Oh, thank you. I'm touched. Better than some of them. You should I've done ones where I read the whole of Shadow over Innsmouth, and that was it was a pleasure because I love that book. I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan, but my voice went at the end of it. Well, we'll end before that happens this time. I heard most authors put a little of themselves into their work, but is this an autobiography? Okay, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about a family friend. So, this particular family friend, who I know doesn't watch my shit, but very good author. Very good author. But their life wasn't going particularly well. And in one of their latest novels, years ago, their main character is an author, and they spend a decent amount of time talking about how nice their study is and how expensive all the furniture is. And I was like, bro, are you good? Are you okay? Is there something we can do for you? Fuck. Okay. Year 51 of the 5th day. Stop creating your own fucking calendars. If you're unless you're really talented, Don't create your own fucking calendars, okay? It just confuses people. Dalen placed the fountain pen beside his note, which lay next to the small leather-bound journal containing a brief account of his life. He had been as honest as possible, except for the part where he said the Delavian dukes had sex with goats. Oh, Jesus. Jack wasn't kidding. It's actually gonna get worse, isn't it? Dalen laughed to himself in long, grating croaks. Those stuck-up men were going to have a light-cursed time dispelling that one, especially when the comment was written alongside so many sincere confessions. Why would he lie about the Dukes when he was being so honest about everything else? Because he was a bastard, of course. Just not the type of bastard the world thought he was. At least, not anymore. Also, the Dukes deserved it. Little bit vindictive, your main character, isn't he? Little bit self-justifying. I don't know if that's a personality trait Shad has. It's an interesting question. They deserved it. YouTube's destroying my channel. It's not because I've talked endlessly about how AI is real fucking art or anything, and like alienated most of my fan base and other creators. Teddy with a 9.99. Okay, but like, if I did a whole anime manga about Adolf Hitler being an anime anti-hero seeking redemption, and he has a Jewish sidekick, that would be a great piece of comedy art. It would. Fuck. There's this comic panel thing that I see going around on Twitter, and it's like, Hitler sends someone back in time to make sure he gets accepted to the Art Academy, so he doesn't become, like, Hitler. I'm just like, that's an interesting take that you're trying to make Hitler sympathetic. I mean, solid A for effort. Fuck. Oh god. QTV with 2. Dallas isn't a martyr. Marty Stew at all. He talks and supports AI far too much. Yeah, like, look. I have a lot of artist friends. I can understand how somebody like again, I don't use AI because I'm lazy, but I've had art friends turn to me and go, well, we don't really like the way you take other people's art and pictures and put them in your thumbnails. That's a big, like, ACC no-no. And people have kind of got over it, only because I'm like, well, if people do me art or people, like, complain, I'll, like, not use their shit, like, and I won't rip the shit out of the artists that I'm like using the stuff for. But I get people's thing of like, well, we put in work. I mean, I just can't get AI to work for me. I don't know. I think it's a me problem. Oh, okay. Where are we? I hate Kindle. Dalen's dark brown eyes slowly focused to his hand, which lay on the desk. Wrinkled and age-spotted, it was a constant reminder of how old he was. It was because of reminders like that that Dalen avoided his own reflection. In it was nothing but a haggard stranger, whose blue hair... Your main character's hair is naturally blue, Shad. Fucking what? 4.99 from Teddy. Also, anime manga. Yeah, I don't watch anime, obviously. Lol, see you, broski. Gotta get working on my Hitler anime redemption arc. Oh, fuck. Yeah, but you make good AI songs, Oz. You're forgiven. It was because of reminders like that that Dalen... okay, there we go. Blue hair had faded to a sickly grey, and whose face partially resembled a scrambled-up piece of paper. Great description, Shad. Well done, buddy. Dalen turned in his seat to face the never-ending stream of life-giving light shining through the windows of his home. A home fighting with Dalen to see who could become more decrepit. It was a sagging one-room structure made of crumbling brick and cluttered with the necessities of life. An aged cabinet which sat near the door held jars of dried fruit and meats. A few tarnished forks and blunt knives were stacked on the washing bench, where there was a cast iron stove for cooking and warmth sitting on a slate hearth. Next to the battered chests and a dusty bed, a sagging mezzanine hung out as a partial second story, made of aged milled timber and was stacked with more chests, tools, nets, and other useful things. Also, to the earlier comment on Eddings, I think I'm right. I think Shad is going to just over-explain everything to kind of meet his imaginary word count in his head. You don't need this. You're not painting a picture. You're just listing things. The fuck are you doing? What else can you have in his house? He had a book. He had some shelves. He had a fork. There was that was a stove. He had a stove. Fucking just be like, he lived in a run-down shack. The windows cracked and the paint peeling. The necessities of life strewn amongst him. The difficulty of navigating between the small kitchenette area, between the wooden tub and the cobbled together stove. A far-flung dream from the castles and imperial halls he once inhabited, where cooks and cleaners and servants saw to his every need. Now he is left alone to cater only to himself and no one else. So much easier to do, Shad, and I'm doing this off the top of my fucking head. So, fuck off! Fuck off, you talentless hack. Okay. Paint a picture. Use that to paint a picture of what's lost and where you are. Christ. He's trying to be Stephen King with his level of detail, but King makes those descriptions far more interesting. That's because King, again in my opinion, uses descriptions to draw like a reader in. The whole point of King's writing, and this is actually very important for horror writing, is you need to almost like mesmerize your reader a little bit. If you don't do that, it doesn't work. The classic example of this, by the way, and the master of it is Edgar Allan Poe, Telltale Heart, is essentially like the whole thing is a couple of pages, but it's like very condensed in a way that it kind of builds tension very, very rapidly in the reader because there's so little happening. This sounds like a book you write in a writing class, yeah. And like different styles are for different things, right? Beckett, this may be a risk to ask publicly, but is my novel this bad? No, but it needs work, Jack. It needs work, but it's not this bad. It's not full of. Your novel's less self-aggrandizing, and it's a bit too like. You take too much time over certain things, but it's not this bad. Don't worry. Useful things. Small sunstones hung from the roof in iron fixtures, adding to the light from the windows. The only thing in his home offering Dalen an escape from its squalor were the 2 benches covered in halfway repaired clocks, children's toys, and generally anything that contained cogs. You can see how he sees himself. These town people who those town people who left these things with Dalen would have to find another tinkerer. Dalen sneered at the thought. Though he could find contentment in working with things, he hated the term tinkerer. He was an engineer. At least that's what he would have become if his life hadn't gone down a much different path. Instead of designing bridges, uncovering new secrets in sunforging, or finding new ways of employing darkstone in automatons and construction, Dalen had ended up using his passion to design machines of war. That was all a day's length from what he did now. Dalen placed his hand on the back of his chair and forced his body to swivel out. With a concerted effort, he tried to push himself onto his feet. He failed and slumped back. "Ye blackened, useless legs," Dalen screamed out. He had gotten into the habit of speaking to himself over these many years. It's basically what I do. You just here watching me do it, by the way, just so we're absolutely fucking clear of where I sit. It wasn't like he had anyone else to talk to. "I'd kick ye if it wouldn't hurt so much. Not that you'd let me. Disloyal, backstabbing bastards. Do your bloody job and let me stand." Fuck, this dialogue is... this dialogue's worse than the descriptions. Holy shit. Tinker, is this an Australian shortening of Tinkerer? Yeah, no, Tinker is... It's shortened to that in the English, in English as well. I called this the beginning scenes in my head when I read it. He lives in a novelty restaurant. Way too much talking about detail in this book, yeah. Remember, chat, a push-up a day keeps the soy away. True. I need to do more push-ups. Taking a deep breath, he heaved once, and this time rose. Better, Dalen grumbled once on his feet. I really should be worried about how much I talk to my anatomy, he muttered. But every man talks to his pisser at least a few times in his life. I've made him a bit piratey, I don't know why. That's why I've extended the practice to other limbs, isn't it? That's why I've extended the practice to other limbs isn't too strange. Oh, that I've extended, okay. Dalen laughed to himself. Listen, it's really hard to read these sentences. They're fucking awful. Dalen laughed to himself in long croaks. Not too strange. Light, I'm such an idiot. Okay. Another thing. This is real fucking important. The worst people for doing this are Bungie. Bungie are fucking awful for this. But like, if you play Destiny, you'll see a lot of things like the light, the darkness, like real simple names, the Traveler. All this kind of shit, where it's real simple descriptions for factions, the Forsaken. Stop doing it. Just give things fucking names. I know it's because you're playing to the lowest common denominator, but if you write things like by light, give your god a name. Just be like by downloads. Doesn't fucking matter. And then you can be like, later on, you can have a preacher talking about Dallas. You create a little bit of mystery in the reader's mind. It's not difficult. Have some faith in yourself. Fuck. If you're going to build a fantasy world, build a fucking fantasy world. Lightbringer. Yeah, he's actually, just be like by Linkara. At least that would be funny. Christ. Looking down to his crotch, he added, "You all right down there?" "Yeah, I know. Stupid question, considering when you have to, who you have to put up with. Your family is nuts, and the neighbor's an asshole." God, this is awful. I'm actually having regrets that I spent money on this. Dalen laughed to himself, and okay, there we go. No, I just fucked something up. There we go. Dalen chuckled, which sounded more like he was trying to hack up phlegm. He slowly shuffled across the floor to the large cuffed Justacrops jacket hanging next to the door. Walking was a chore, these fools, and quickly drained what little energy he had. Dalen took the coat and donned it over his vest and loose-sleeved beige shirt. Moving to a bench, he took hold of the deep black piece of cube darkstone laying there. It resisted being picked up, as no light was touching its base. It may as well have been fused to the table. With his other hand, he took a shining sunstone bead from a small bowl on the desk and quickly touched it down onto the darkstone top. The closer the bead had come to the darkstone, the more the darkstone was repulsed by the brighter light, the table having creaked under the strain. But the stone's repulsion had been nullified as soon as the sunstone touched, which had released it from the table. Christ, that's an effort of a fucking paragraph. Teddy for the $4.99. Oh my god, it's the bringer of death and darkness. Dude, that's just Gary. Fucking hell. Dalen picked up the darkstone with 2 fingers, and its corners, careful not to touch the sides from light, and dropped the sunstone bead back into the bowl. Dalen knew he didn't really need the darkstone. Falling through the barrier while touching sunstone will kill a person just as much, and the luminous pendant hanging under his shirt was made from just that. But Dalen was intending to kill himself, and if sunstone or darkstone would kill a man, surely touching both would be twice as effective. He never did anything by half measures, or apparently, so you've got a thing where like both of the But either one of these will kill you, but you're just making sure. Okay. 499 from Mad Max. For the pain and suffering. Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Like and subscribe. All donations are appreciated because... Look, it's nice to read it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's nice to read a bedtime story of terrible fucking writing. There's a novel for anyone who likes horror science fiction. You should check out a novel called like something like Leviathan. It's something Leviathan. Fuck, I can't remember now. I'll dig it out and like put it in a comment or something somewhere. But it's onto Leviathan. Onto Leviathan. It is a space like horror story. It's fucking terrible. You will get through it in a day, but you'll it's like one of these books that's bad but you enjoy. That's how I found it anyway. 2 from QTVs. I too talk to my member like it's another person. An odd thought came to Dalen. Has anybody ever fallen through the barrier while touching both stones? I've never heard of that happening. Is there a chance touching both halves won't kill me? Dalen began to cough out a croaking laugh at the absurd thought. Of course it will, you light-blinded fool. Thinking it won't is like believing 2 poisons will cancel each other out, huh? With Darkstone in one hand, Dalen walked to another desk and found a small wooden box. He opened it, and a stream of bright light shone out. The box was lined with sunstone, the only way Darkstone could easily be transported. Dalen placed the Darkstone within and latched the lid. He then grabbed his coin pouch and slipped it into his coat pocket. Dalen took another pouch that clinked when handled, holding even more money than the first. With difficulty, he hobbled outside. A soft breeze ruffled his coat, and the smell of freshly cut country air his lungs. Glancing to the sky, Dalen saw a black dot slowly moving westward. It was a skyship. One could always see at least a single skyship flying through the air, and they always brought a sense of awe to Dalen. He loved skyships. He loved them, guys. God, where is the story? Look, I'm pausing a lot. I'm pausing a lot to like talk and dissect it so this becomes transformative content, and I don't just get fucking hit. 499 from Teddy. Beckett, quick, name my new Wattpad project about Hitler's redemption. I'm considering it. Oh, the fuck? Here is my monthly stipend for friendship. Thank you for the 20, bestie. How you doing? Fuck, I was meant to DM you and be like, I'm going live, and then completely forgot. I'm sorry, bestie. Your Hitler story. What should we call it? Adolf. So I Adolf ain't so bad. I don't fucking know. I suck at titles. Hey, Jew of the something. I don't fucking know. 10 gifted. Thank you. 07. That's much appreciated. Oh, you got President Sunday as well. Oh, base. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. It's nice to see you all chilling tonight. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's fucking Jewel Prince. What? I need to open it. Hold on. Oh, fuck. I hate my chat because I read it on there. Jew of the Mountain. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, damn, you didn't come up with a name. I don't. That's not right. That's not right. That's really fucking good, Aries Blue. I really like that. That's really fucking good. That's not right. That's fucking great. I love it. I'd read that. I'd be like, if I saw something out, if I saw a manga titled "That's Not Right," I'd totally fucking read it. Somebody DM'd us recently. Somebody DM'd us at Cope and Seethe, and they were like, you shouldn't be followed to Dr. Disrespect, and you shouldn't be followed to Nicholas Diorio. They're bad people. And Jenny messaged back, if Adolf Hitler himself had a Twitter account, we would follow it. Followers aren't endorsements. Firstly, I do absolutely endorse Nick Diorio, by the way. I fucking love Nick. But yeah, I followed Dr. Disrespect and like libs of TikTok. Like Nicholas Dior following like Dr. Disrespect and like people like Libs of TikTok or Timple. It's because I want to know what they're fucking tweeting. I want updates. I want to know. What's right is right. Get it? Like what's right is right. I like that. $4.99 from Teddy. Thank you. That is good. Let's fucking go. What's right is right. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty good. How is Nick bad? Oh, it's because the dude was like, he defended Ricky Bowick. I'm like, fuck off. Diorio's awesome. Stop coping. Nick's been really good to me. I really like Nick. I remember Nick when he was a wee lad. Yeah. I follow Christian. Does Christian have a Twitter? I didn't even know Christian had a Twitter. Diorio has never been wheel of app. Good evening, Tyler. How you doing? Welcome to the Shad reading. We're going through this terrible fucking novel, and I'm also telling random like author stories about my mum. That's what this stream's gonna be. Fuck. I do love doing analysis. I think I've told this one before, but while I'm rolling a cigarette, it's a good one. My mum went to a lecture in like France when she was doing book signings, and like somebody was analyzing her book, like one of the professors or lecturers, and he was like, "Yes, the birds cascading across the night, the sky, darkening it, symbolize the oncoming darkness and horror of the murderer." And my mum was like, "They're just fucking birds." What the fuck is this guy on about? Because she didn't tell anyone she was going. She's always hated the people who try to analyze her. It's quite funny. It does me good. Okay. Right, where the fuck were we? I'll go back to reading shit. Right. A soft breeze ruffled his coat, and the smell of fresh country air filled his lungs. Glancing to the sky, Dalen saw a black dot slowly moving westward. It was a skyship. One could always see at least a single skyship flying through the air, and they always brought a sense of awe to Dalen. He loved skyships, though he hadn't been so much as near one for years. Still, Dalen wasn't looking to spot skyships. No, he's off to kill himself. You're telling us your main character is going to go kill himself. That's obviously not going to be his intention. Well done. He looked further up, and to see the faint underside of the very same continent whereupon he and everyone else lived. Telos. This was the result of the very top of the barrier of the universe. One simply couldn't exit the world when they reached its top. No, instead they re-entered the world from the other side. In this case, the universe's base. This had the same effect on one lines of sight, which was how Dalen could look up and see the bottom of the continent he stood upon. Jesus fucking Christ. What? Do you know, there's this weird thing that keeps happening in this, where, like, he gives both too much exposition and absolutely not enough. And all at the wrong points. Dalen's eyes travel along Telos's underside to its northern edge. Then, tracing down through the sky, in between the mirror image of Telos above and the land he stood on, Dalen found the plummet, the large, misshapen landmass that fell through the world perpetually, a kilometre north of the continent. Once the plummet reached the bottom barrier, it would re-enter the world from the top and fall all over again. This marked the length of a fall, whereby the people of Telos measured their times and seasons. Dalen surmised the plummet to be only a quarter way through its fall, meaning it was mid-high, or in other words, noon. Paradan should be arriving by now, Dalen thought, grumbling. Dalen's thoughts were interrupted as he noticed a man sitting in front of his house on what was left of a log railing. The railing made the border between Dalen... I hate you, Kindle. Okay. Where were we? The railing made the border between his front yard and the brick-paved road running past Dalen's home. He wore the robes of a lightbringer. It's Linkara! It's Linkara. Hey, he's on a railing. He's atop the fourth wall. Kill me. Actually fucking kill me. Thank you for the 499, Teddy. Last dono, the book will be What's Reich is Reich. Chapter 1, that's not Reich. Chapter 2, to do what's right. Thank you. Fucking hell. Thank you. Thanks for the bedtime story, no worries. Oh, fucking hell. It's Linkara, I'm so excited. I hope he says, Jalen, I've come for your comic book. You messaged me one too many times about a Power Rangers review, Dalen. I'm not gonna let you kill yourself. I'm here to take you. Come on. Come the fuck on. Are you high? Dalen was expecting someone, but certainly... but certainly not a bringer. Hobbling to the man who sat facing the road, Dalen called out in a disgruntled tone, "Hey, you! What are you doing?" The man turned to look at Dalen. He was at least in his 50s, yet still looked like a pup to Dalen's aged eyes. His face looked to have been chiselled from stone for all its sharp angles, defined jaw, and prominent chin. He was clearly fit and strong, a common trait among Terratians. Am I saying that right? Who fucking cares? As identified by the bringer's dark brown skin and bright yellow hair, which was cut very short and faded at the temples. "Oh, hello there," the man said in a voice so clear and enunciated he might have been a stage actor. He spoke in a cultured Hamaharan accent, and added with the fact that he was fully clothed, indicated that he hadn't been born in his native Terrasian islands. That, or he hadn't lived there for long. I am not even sure he drinks. His demeanor generally are teetotalers. It makes sense. I would say that he used AI to help write this book, but I feel like AI would write better. AI can write scarily well if you get the right information to work with. A teetotaler? Is that what you're saying? What to? I'm just gonna be dumb today. The man stood, revealing that he was half a head taller than Dalen, and looked at him with some of the most discerning eyes Dalen had ever seen. Their colour a dark blue. "I had wondered who lived here. I didn't mean to intrude, but I'm waiting for someone who'll be passing here outfall." "Who?" Dalen asked. "He's a young man, though I don't know his name. Only that I'm to meet him here." Dalen's home sat beside the main road from a village, and it served as a recognisable marker, so the explanation made sense. Bro, this book is ass. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I can't believe I spent money on this. Though, thank you kindly for all the support and super chats, because you guys have paid for it. I do appreciate that. See, now my bad decisions have become your bad decisions. Let's fucking go. "All right then," Dalen said. "I don't suppose I need worry about a bringer causing trouble." "Indeed," the lightbringer said with a smile. "Rather, we bringers try to bring as much brightness as we can bring." He leaned in a bit closer and said conspiratorially, "That's why we're called bringers." This dialogue is fucking terrible. It's actually kind of incredible. This is an art form in itself, I would like to pose. I listened to it on audiobook and it's fucking long as shit. Dalen frowned, as if he had just tasted something foul. I hope that wasn't some retarded attempt at humour. Seeing as I'm not mentally disabled, I would have to say no. 'Twas but a simple joke. I'm actually going to start adding things to the dialogue to make it better for all of us, okay? So if it's not word for word, I'm doing it intentionally. Thank me later. No. If you think that was a joke, you most definitely are mentally disabled. The bringer's mouth hung open, and he stared at Dalen, stunned. Dalen leaned in, and in the same conspiratorial tone the bringer had used, said, "It was a joke." Insults are not jokes. Oh my god! Oh my god! What? Are the bringers going to be a proxy for woke people? Is that what he's doing? Joke. Mean things aren't jokes, Dalen. Raper of the world, conqueror of the 7 nations. You can do all that sort of stuff, but don't you dare come to us and start telling your jokes. Fuck off, Shad. God, he's so fucking soy. It's the same energy as Doug Walker reviewing The Wall and making it about Twitter bullying. Fucking losers. Dalen shrugged. It depends on who you insult. I once asked the Tutsian ambassador if his ass was jealous of the amount of crap coming from his mouth. Dalen croaked a chuckle. He choked up a lung. The ambassador didn't have you arrested? Nah, he had wanted to keep his head. You threatened him as well. Yeah. And he still took no action. He was too much of a coward. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how did you find yourself in a position to insult an ambassador? I was a tinkerer my whole life. I've seen the world. Yes. Well, it would have surprised me if you hadn't. I mean, you're looking at the end right now, after all. Don't be a smart-ass, Dalen said, turning to make his way to the outside chair in front of his house. Each step was a struggle. Would you like me to heal you of your ailments? The bringer called out. Consider it payment for my intrusion, he continued, walking towards Dalen. Dalen turned back to him. Bringers can't heal old age. True. But if you're not sick, a healing will still grant you some temporary vitality. Sure. Go ahead, Dalen said, waving a hand. The bringer placed a hand on Dalen's shoulder. His skin began to glow softly as the light moved to his hand, and then transferred to Dalen's body. A warmth rippled over Dalen that brought with it vigor and lucidity. Jesus fucking Christ. The bringer was my nickname in high school. Do I want to ask why the bringer was your nickname in high school? That seems very specific. What is this, bro? Country type of dialogue is this? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Who fucking wrote this? Michael Bay? No, Shadiversity. This is Shadiversity's novel. I can't fucking believe he wrote this. Not only did he write this, he had it published. He was proud of it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, give me 2 seconds. He uses these words true. He places his hand and the MC becomes woke. It's just, yeah, it's fucking so bizarre to do this. I mean, a lot of people do this. They sort of like self-insert their ideologies, obviously. It's always shit when you do that. Very, very, very few writers can pull it off. My nickname in high school was the Dark Lord. Teddy, I believe you. Someone read this book and thought, yeah, let's publish this. It's actually not that hard. I mean, I think it's published through Amazon, isn't it? You just... Amazon will publish anything. Literally, that's what's killing the industry. Yeah, you can self-publish. Plays with sword in front of a wooden castle in his backyard, yeah. Shad is a special individual. I think it's really funny as well. He did this whole thing where he's like, the channel's dying, I'm not sure I can finish the castle. Bro, what? Go to fucking, like, what's it called? Like, Home Depot. And just be like, I need a load of cardboard boxes. I'm sure you can find a fan to, like, cut them up for you. Is Shadiversity the dumbass motherfucker who roasted every time he opens his mouth, or am I confusing him with the quartering, aka the guy who pisses in his basement? No, you're right, that is Shad. They are both fucking clowns, though. So, I remember when the quartering first appeared on the scene, and I'll say this about the quartering. The only reason the quartering has a fucking career is because he was too boring when he was like hanging around the sector people for anyone to destroy his career. Jim couldn't even be bothered. There's actually a stream where Jim, like, Keemstar enters the stream to get Jim in because they're like, Jim's fighting with quartering and quartering's like running from Jim. But he was always just a boring loser, and now he's like he was so boring that he's managed to survive. That's why the quartering still has a career. It has not been confirmed that Shadiversity pisses in his basement. The dude is clearly digging ditches somewhere to like have a little piss. I imagine he's going to end up living in the cardboard castle. Okay. Any question of this man being a true lightbringer had just been answered. Still, even with the healing, which made him feel like he had just had a good day's rest, Dalen's body was dying. He coughed. See, you can't heal old age, but the revitalization is welcome. It's a pleasure to serve. The rattle of a wagon announced Paradan's approach. Dalen hobbled past the bringer, surprised at the strength in his legs. The bringer followed him down the path to sit back on the log railing. Paradan's wagon was a very old darkstone machine, probably as old as Dalen himself, which was saying something. It pulled to a stop in front of Dalen's yard. The man atop had large ears and a wide mouth that formed an unfortunate appearance. 2 beads hung at a length of his hair to the side of his head, called a tassel, one dull white and one a shining sunstone. This indicated Paradan had won two sword duels in the past, one against a person who had never duelled before, and another against a person who had won at least once. Light to you, Dalen, Paradan said as the soft wind failed to bother his messy reed-green hair. And light to you, Bringer, Paradan said respectfully. The Lightbringer nodded back. May the light brighten your fall as well. You're late, Dalen said. Sorry about that. Fagan Landonna came round making a fuss just as I were about to leave, saying my son is playing his daughter too much attention. I had to deal with that old uproot before talking to Paradan. Not that it's wrong for him to pay courtesies to young women, mind. He's a marrying age after all. But night come on me before I let Ladonnas marry into our family. Fergan's a shade tit, Dalen said, and his kids would think half a wit is an endowment of intelligence. Like, Fagan's stupid enough to think Paradan should marry into the Ladonnas, if such a shadow ever fell on you. Shade take me now, Paradan said in dread. He looked to the bringer. Are you to accompany? No, he's not, Dalen snapped. He's waiting for someone else. Honestly, I think I might turn this place into a skyport with all the traffic I've seen in full. Dalen ended his grumble with a hacking cough and struggled to stay on his feet. Did you know the quartering originally started as a claw machine channel? I did. I was aware of that. It doesn't... Fucking, you should have stayed as one. I heard Mr. Metacritic is going to do a stream on Lio sooner or later. So, Hornet, if you're still in the chat, super chatted in about Lio. It wouldn't surprise me. So, for those who don't know, like, Metacritic's had a lot of run-ins with Artcom. Like, it's some of his oldest content. That's why it was so surprising to find that Doodle Diapers was still around. I fucking love that. I fucking love that video. Did Fox News write this dialogue? Nah, they'd have a character called Trump, who's the actual God Emperor or some shit. Fucking useless. Right, okay. Easy there, old-timer, Paradan said, jumping off his open-topped wagon to help. His left hand keeping the longsword at his side from swinging. Off with you, Dalen spat, hitting Paradan's hand away. I'm not so old that I can't stand on my own two legs. I mean, you are literally at that point. Your character's kind of just an angry. Is this anything like? Does anyone like this character? Does anyone in chat think, yeah, Dalen's cool? I want to be like Dalen. This is going to end up... Okay, here's my prediction. Here's my prediction from the layup. We're probably not going to get there, so chat can tell me if I'm wrong. But I think going through this fall thing, carrying both a Knight and Darkstone, is going to have a particular effect on Dalen, where he either reverses aging or travels in time. Am I close? I know some of you have fucking read this shit. I was homeschooled. I could probably whip up something better. Fuck now, everyone's like, Dalen's a dick. Oh, God. Paradan looked at him with insufferable concern. 100% Giant's like, yeah, there you go. Look, fucking hell. If you're gonna do something, like, if you're gonna do something obvious... I mean, I don't want to give it away, yeah. Oh, I hate this book. I hate this book. Okay. Paradan looked at him with insufferable concern. Dalen hated it. He had ruled the world, and now a peasant farmer was looking down upon him. Grunting, he shuffled to the other side of Paradan's wagon. You sure you're up to travelling, Tinker? Oh no, fucking hell. You sure you're up to travelling, Tinker? I'm fine, shade it. But Dalen knew the small energy he had from the Bringer's healing wouldn't last. Indeed, the trip would see to that. He heaved himself up onto the wagon, which was usually an impossible feat for him. Paradan sighed and climbed aboard into the driver's seat. It was obvious the farmer didn't like Dalen. No one did. But this wasn't hatred. It was the dislike anyone had for spending time with the ill-tempered and old. Dalen didn't mean to be so perturbed by everything. It was just that everything perturbed him. What a fucking sentence. Holy shit. Let me guess, it sucks because it's made by a right-winger? No, like, look, there are some right-wing authors who are fucking fantastic. Like, really good. I started this by saying I'm a massive H.P. Lovecraft fan. In fact, actually, I would argue, and I will fight people on this, that if you're left-wing, you can't write good eldritch horror. I think a lot of left-wingers fundamentally miss the what makes Lovecraft work, which is fear of the other. It's not the monsters, it's not the suspense, it is fearing something that's like that you cannot understand and grasp, and that's something that's very difficult for left-wing writers to write. Hey, Kristen Arkraid, how we doing, guys? I saw a bit of Chris's I don't know what I'm doing, I just can't sleep stream. Good evening, how we doing? Welcome to reading Shadiversity's book. Shadiversity's terrible fucking novel and picking it apart. But yeah, like other things like there's a Battletech author who's right wing as well who I really like. I like that stuff. Hey you, I've written that kind of horror. It's very difficult. I mean, people can prove me wrong. We're gonna have to fight, I'm afraid. That's fine. I will fight this point. I will fight this point. I think the problem I have with a lot of like modern, to be fair, it's not just left wing. It's modern eldritch horror. Is that like there's the unstoppable evil, but if you read like Lovecraft, it's quite obvious that the things that are really like unnerving in Lovecraft's work are the way that he describes other human beings, because fundamentally Lovecraft hated everything around him. What's that about? It is a fantasy novel. I'm lefty and I write the shit out of eldritch horror. Is that like what your stuff is? I will read your stuff, Tyler. I think. Do you know what? I will read your stuff. I could be wrong. Listen, I'm always happy to be proved wrong. If it's good eldritch horror, I'm all for it. Actually, I will say this. Fucking Neil Gaiman's. I know Neil Gaiman's getting cancelled at the moment. I know Neil Gaiman's getting cancelled now, but Neil Gaiman's, is it Below London? Is kind of eldritchy and weird, and it's really good. Gaiman's very talented though. I didn't like The Pond. That's a hot take. I'm not sure it's called The Pond, but yeah, I didn't enjoy that much. But yeah, I love Lovecraft. I'm very defensive. Don't read Lovecraft's poetry, though. It's both terrible and very racist. Lovecraft's poetry is insane. Lovecraft's poetry is more racist than his horror fiction. It's fucking incredible. I just want a reassurance. I hate this time period because of bias. Yeah, sure. No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm lefty and I'm also a nihilist and I hate humanity, so that makes it easier to do the Eldritch stuff. That's fair. That might work. That might work. Especially when around him was black people. Yeah. Yeah. We all know the name of Lovecraft's cat that shall go unspoken. One of his poems is just like he was such an Anglophile at points. It was really weird. It was like the romanticized version of Anglophilia by Americans who were like, well, this is really what American culture is. Oh, fucking incredible. Okay. Battletech mentioned when I said this on the other stream. I think it's the effects of watching Razorfist. Razorfist kind of got me more into Battletech lore. There's a really good fucking lore creator called Black Pants Legion, I think. He does Battletech lore stories and goes through the major events like the Clan Wars, the fucking what's it called? The big civil war that happened and the military leaving and becoming the clans. He's really good. He's really good. I'll try and remember and link him in the description. All my old horror storytelling podcasts are free online. Can you link me, Tyler? That'd be awesome. I'd be up for that. That sounds great. Just drop me the DM. Lovecraft had things for cats too. They played large roles in all his dream center stories. Yeah, I think it's weird as well, his fear of technology. And even Overly Sarcastic Productions has a really good episode on Lovecraft, actually. I'm just shouting out other better creators now. Great way to keep an audience. Hey guys, did you know there are better people on the internet than me? You really should be watching them. Also, radio audio booms for Perfect War and Ghostwriters are great. Audio books, yeah. Look, I can disagree with Razorfist on plenty of political stuff, but I do I like his fiction takes. A lot more than I like Steve Shives' takes on fucking Star Trek. Christ, I'm a Star Trek fan and I can't get through that shit. Okay. I just carry on. Right. He didn't think he had been so easily annoyed when he was young, and surely people hadn't been so patronizing. Still, like it or not, Paradan had to give Dalen a ride. It was payment for Dalen fixing the very wagon he sat upon. Paradan nodded respectfully to the lightbringer. All right, Linkara. And worked the wagon's control levers. He pulled on the main throttle, which opened a hatch-like door to the Darkstone driver fixed at the rear, with light now shining on the back of the stone through a few magnifying lenses. I am in agony. Right, the wagon lurched forward, being pushed by the Darkstone's luminous repulsion. Paradan put a hand on the large steering lever sitting in front of him to direct the wagon as it travelled. Really? It had directional equipment in it? In a wagon powered by your weird fucking Darkstone and Lightstone? Why don't you just come up with a name for it? Explain what it is and call it something other than Darkstone. We don't do this. You don't look at silver and be like, ooh, shiny stone. Gold. Orange shiny stone. Fuck off. No one talks like this. Why do not just Shad, why do writers keep doing it? I don't fucking understand. Not gonna lie, Beckett, we thought Shadman wrote a novel and was horrified. I did intentionally put Shadiversity in the thing. No, Shabman didn't write this. Shadiversity wrote this. Shadiversity wrote this. He is a cringy, fucking history, quote unquote, creator. Call of Cthulhu is set in the same fictional universe as Super Size Me. What the fuck? The fuck? Jesus. Okay. It was an amazing means of transportation, far more so than the animal-pulled wagons of old. Though it was one of the simpler Darkstone engines, even in his old age, Dalen was still enthralled by this technology. Machines powered by light, a never-ending resource. Of course, it was all thanks to Darkstone's natural properties. The wagon rattled on over one of the many brick roads Dalen had seen built during his time in power. The bumpy trip didn't help Dalen's health, and he coughed and hacked in pain regularly. At least the weather was fine. Rain would have made this trip unbearable. They passed a patchwork of cultivated fields, which sat over the rolling hills like a blanket. Many a farmer was out working their Darkstone-powered ploughs, tilling the ground for the spring crops of barley, oats, beans, and potatoes. Groves of varying sizes were scattered throughout the paddocks, with many tree lines bordering the fields, making windbreaks. Occasionally they passed an old ruin, most of them left over from the empires of the first day, which had ended with the first night. It was thanks to the first night... Christ, I hate his naming. First night that most of what stood in this distant past had been left in ruins. I've never been to the city before, Paradan eventually said, clearly trying to break the silence. Dalen couldn't be bothered to respond. My son wanted to come along with us. I might have let him if not for the mess with Farragon's daughter. Light. That boy is shading my days, these fools. Skipping his chores, courting airheaded nits with his own head not too far away. What with it being in the clouds so much? The lads keep saying he wants to join the Ark Knights. You wouldn't want him to be an Ark Knight, Dalen said. If Paradan committed to practicing his sword more often, yes. The Knights would reject him after the first week of trials with how he is at the moment. That's his problem. He keeps saying he wants all these things, but he isn't willing to work for them. Does anyone else feel the politics slipping in? Just a touch? Anyone else feeling that little push towards what Shad might be? These ungrateful kids, not prepared to work for things, wanting communism. Sounds like he just needs a good kick up the arse. I've tried that too, Light. It makes me wish I were an Ark Knight so I could use their magic to fix the boy's head. Dale huffed. Lightbringer doesn't work like that. Yeah, I've heard the Knights can control the minds of men. That's a myth. I've met many Ark Knights in my life, and as much as they've wanted to change my mind, they never could. Though some of the stories are true. Like what? Incredible strength, speed, massive jumps. Some can fly. Some can heal incredibly fast. I've seen one cast lightning from his hands, but they're not invincible. I've seen Ark Knights die. You have? Paradan said with such shock in his eyes. His eyes looked as though they would pop out of his head. I've lived through the fourth night, Paradan. The Shades are more than a couple of killing Arch Knights. I wondered about that. I mean, you look old enough, but I didn't want to be so rude. So, Knight, what's it like? Dalen replied with soft-spoken words. About as terrifying as you can imagine. Darkness all around, while being constantly hunted by flying monsters. The ever-present risk that you might turn into one if you without light for too long. You've known people who've turned. My own parents. Light, Paradan said breathlessly. Aye, Dalen, I'm sorry. Not your fault, Paradan. And I got my revenge. With the Arch Knights, we fought back the Shade. Killing 1,000. And we brought an end to the fourth night. Wow. Your life must have been... I couldn't even describe. Dalen huffed. That's not the half of it. This is a lot of exposition, guys. This is a lot of, like, very random exposition. edgy, yeah, it's very edgy. It's when characters do this thing where they like writers do this thing where they're like, oh, well, if I force in a conversation about the thing, then it's not technically just doing meaningless exposition. It's a story. It's a conversation between the two characters. Show a flashback. Show a fucking flashback. Do a setup, give a reason, show a flashback. Don't have two characters fucking talk to each other who've apparently known each other for fucking ages and now just happen to be on a wagon together. Oh, well, I was there. Were you? We had no idea all this time you've been living in the village and we've been doing things with you. You never mentioned this before. Turns out you're some kind of legendary. And also, how the fuck is this guy hiding in a village? You're telling me that the oppressor of the world, it's literally like, it's like if Adolf Hitler moved to a village in Somerset and took up time being a fucking fence painter. And then everyone was like, what were you doing during the war? Well, have you heard about a thing called the Holocaust? So dumb. Listen, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to make the reading at least sound interesting. Hitler is living in Argentina, didn't you know? Yeah, defense painter. Wow, I hate this. I've only been here 10 minutes and I really hate this book. Didn't Tyler play this to any of you? He's done your day. Dalen huffed. That's not the half of it. Do you have any other stories? None that I really want to share. Oh, Paradan said, falling silent before curiosity once again got the better of him. So what have you got in the box there? None of your business, Dalen said, growing tired of the conversation. Paradan pursed his lips and sniffed, looking forward. Dalen sighed and threw a small pouch onto Paradan's lap that clinked as he fell. Here, I want to give you that. What's this? Open it. Paradan did, and his eyes widened at seeing coin. Dalen, I can't accept this. It's more than I make in a year. The pouch was full of golden quarters, worth 100 grams each. Of course you can, and you will, Dalen said. You need it. What with how bad winter was. Dalen, I put a rock in it, will you? Oh, see, now he's a good character. You suck at writing anti-heroes, Shad. And Paradan did, with not the least hint of annoyance. Honestly, who would be annoyed with the man, ill-tempered and rude as he was, after he gave them a pouch full of money? Dalen wasn't going to need it, and the truth was he had more stored away back home. He had more than enough coin on his person for the ship fare. Dalen had left his home behind, and he wouldn't miss it, though it was blindingly difficult to leave behind his sword, Imperious, if there was anything he wanted... Imperious. If there was anything he wanted to die with, it was his sword. Like the kings of old, he would have wrapped it in cloth, so no one would recognise it, but he was too weak to carry the thing for the whole journey. So Dalen had to leave Imperious, along with everything else. The townsfolk would probably ransack the place eventually, although once finding out who he really was, they'd just be likely to burn everything he had ever touched. Darkstone could move exceptionally fast when light shone upon it, and the roads Dalen had seen built were still strong and smooth, facilitating faster travel. See, guys, he may have, raped and murdered, but damn it, he can build infrastructure. Oh, God. Does it get any better? Is this just it? Is this just it now? Around 1 out of 10 kilograms, obviously. 100 grams means what to us exactly, Jesus? There's this thing called the Holocaust. You've probably never heard of it. I can't get over the use of retard in what is supposed to be a fantasy novel. Not to say you can't use real words in fantasy or sci-fi, but, that's so bizarre. Yeah, Yahtzee, zero punctuation Yahtzee, made this point. Like, certain things should be fun. And, like, if you had, like, Errol Flynn swing onto a fucking pirate ship and then tell everyone to fuck off, it wouldn't be funny. It would just be slightly weird and jarring. You know? This book isn't just bad, it's painfully generic. It feels like every base fantasy novel or story setup I've heard 1,000 times. Yeah. Like, again, it's a really simple, grimdark, which grimdark isn't common to do well. Like, I don't know how many people have read the Witcher novels, like the actual, like, novels. I've read, like, part of one, and I've read the short stories, and they're a very different feel of doing grimdark. Okay. God. I've got a dark past. Guys. It's legally distinct, the fantasy. Look, to be fair to it, while it is poorly written, the setup is at least kind of original. Like, starting... Look, it's very... I had an idea for a character kind of thing who'd be interesting. Something that, like, a lot of people want to do is they want to put their character at the end of their arc and then go from an arc from there, which is less interesting for a reader in some respects. Who is the worst YouTube author, Shadiversity or Onision? I've never read any of Onision's stuff. There are some very bad YouTube authors, to be fair. But there are some very, very good online authors as well. You just have to... You kind of have to sift through the schlock. There's a lot of terrible published authors, to be clear. A lot of really bad published authors. Who publishing houses will be like, yeah, this is fucking incredible. And they're awful. They're hacks. They easily crossed 100 kilometers in a few hours, passing the 6 towns that lay alongside the road to Tain. Though one of the towns, Limette, bravely earned the title. A commanding view of the land beyond revealed itself once they crested a small hill. Tain sat far away in a broad valley. The city was average-sized, at least to Dalen's eyes. He'd seen most of the great metropolises of Telos in his life, and Tremaine didn't come close to any of them, especially not the nation's capital, High Dawn. Fan-fucking-tastic. Be thankful you've never run Onision stuff. It's pure, unadulterated brainworms. That kind of makes me want to read it. Would Colin Barringer count? That shit was actually disgusting. I've never read any of Colin's stuff either, actually. I followed the drama, but I didn't go in depth with it. Hopefully trying to be a decent published author. That being said, if I ever produced schlock this bad, please just rope me. I've seen better. I've seen worse. Such is life. Hydon, Dalen's former seat of power. But Dalen guessed that to the locals, Tain would appear to be the largest and most bustling place they'd ever seen. Tain had once belonged to the kingdom of Sun Sin, which had declared war on Humrar at the same time as the kingdoms of Damer and Lamus did, after Dalen had executed the queen. In return, Dalen had made sure not a single drop of noble blood remained. So devastating was this purge that many years later, when he was defeated, the lands and peoples who once belonged to those kingdoms had no royal claim or identity, and simply chose to remain with the new Hamara. Skyships spotted the sky like upside-down boats, though designed to be far more aerodynamic with huge variances between themselves. The larger traders and carriers queued at the registry station to pass through the city's shield net. The shield was made from a net of dark stone anchors, quite large stone square blocks, that encased a dark stone core. With no light shining on the cores, they were fixed in the air, the very same way the tectonic dark stone mantle held the continent in place. The anchors were spaced 2 meters apart from one another in a diamond pattern that formed a dome over the city. The anchors were so close that any skyship larger than a dory couldn't fit between them. Any ship that tried to fly through the shield separated to the openings on the ground, and at the registry station would run into the immovable anchors and get shredded to pieces. Shield nets had been developed before Dalen rose to power, but he had certainly employed them to a very much larger degree than times before. They were very common, these fools. Even from this distance, Dalen could spot the 2 battleships patrolling the city's airspace from within the shield. They had very distinct silhouettes. I feel like I've read something like this, but done so much better. I'm trying to think of something else with skyships in it. I mean, they're a very popular, like, D&D trope. I've written better plots than this in a technical papers. I've written worse, but I am a hobby horror author. Look, I will say this. There is nothing wrong with writing schlock. If you're just writing for fun. People, like, writing should be something you enjoy. It shouldn't be... I'm tearing the shit out of Shad because Shad is an arrogant fucking douchebag. But if Shad just wrote a novel, and I don't know, released it under another name, or like was like, yeah, I'm just pleased with this, it's alright, it's fun, I enjoyed writing it. Eberron, I never read Eberron. I got into a little bit of it and didn't like it. I love reading Slop, it's great. Yeah, I mean, as I said, On to Leviathan is shit, but I really like it. I really like that book. I would actually recommend it. The smaller personal skyships, ferries and coaches flew much lower to the ground and weren't required to land in port. What remarkable and ingenious work of engineering skyships were. Oh, God, please shut up. I don't know how much more I have in me, guys. I don't know if I've just proved the point, really, or if I need to come back. We're on page 20 of 519. The random porn books I've read called Elven Slave have a world with about as much detail. I should be clear, again, because I don't think many people know this. I've read softcore dinosaur pornography on stream, okay? You know those dino books where it's like women getting ravaged by a triceratops? I've read those on stream. Because I thought it would be funny. It was funny. They're better than this. Unironically, they are better than this. So yeah, I keep pausing because we're only on page 20. I keep pausing to like chat to you guys and like make this stream not just me reading. I suppose I could record it as an audio novel. Oh my god. One day we're gonna get him playing Corruption of Champions. Maybe. Oh, I've heard those dino porn books. Yeah, they're good. Look, like, reading pornography doesn't do anything for me, but like, I think the books are genuinely entertaining. That's so dumb. There's a load of authors who write them. It's crazy. I'm just like, how do you get into that? I'm too tired to react. How many pages? What, in this book or the dino porn books? The dino porn books are all short. They're like 20 pages. Like, less, some of them. Probably a silly question, but what is your chest tattoo? It's just like a compass, but it's like very, very faded now. I've got a couple. So I've got like a Triforce. I know, real basic bitch shit. I've got a Chaos Star. I got that was like my first tattoo when I was like 18. I've got like so I've got like plate mail armor up my arm. I've got like a werewolf tattoo. I've got like a zombie octopus on my back with a top hat and a cane. Got like a couple of skulls. Got some flowers. I dare you to read 50 Shades of Grey. Can I get sued or something? Fun fact, there's a whole Wikipedia page on dinosaur erotica. I'm aware of it. I might contribute to it. It's okay to be basic. I got a Vault Boy on my thigh. Yeah, well, we were all teenagers once. Okay, the armor is cool. The armor was done freehand as well. Friend of mine. Lighty is a scaly. Yeah, I really like Chaos Stars. Especially when I was younger. Chaos is cool. It was also my first tattoo. Yeah, it's like proper basic goth tattoo. I listen. I'm aware of where I am. Like on my legs, I've got like such weird tattoos on my legs. I have a koi fish that never got finished. So it's just the head and tail of a koi, with like a lined body. Fuck. Okay. I hope in millions of years, whatever species digs up our fossils writes horribly inaccurate and goofy erotica about us. I will say this: the Triceratops, like my pet Triceratops is a billionaire, is an incredibly graphic novel. It is so graphic. I was like, this is a choice. There's also a full-born novel about a woman having a romance with a bear. It's literally called Bear. That's fucking incredible. That's actually amazing. Funny Smart is great entertainment. I think about the COVID-19 one. Yeah. Does anyone remember during lockdown when like Pornhub went like fully like everything was like lockdown pornography? It was so weird. It was that was a weird time in our lives. Morbidly curious now. Fuck. Maybe I'll tell you what. Like and subscribe, and at some I do reading streams every now and again. I enjoy doing them because they're just nice chilled out things. And at the moment I don't really want to talk about much of the drama going on. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. If something interesting develops, we'll do a drama stream tomorrow. It's completely unethical that we let Triceratops hold $1 billion. Based. My problem isn't the fact that the Triceratops is fucking a twink. My problem is that they're a billionaire. Base take. Is it time? Do we show the Cope and Seethe crowd the documentary that scarred Braindead and I? Oh, what? You mean that? Oh, no, I'm not going over that one again. Fucking the bestiality documentary. I might do that. Maybe we'll do a repeat. I always feel bad doing content that Jim's done, because I'm obviously a Metica fan, and it does affect my coverage. And like even in that one, I can feel myself making jokes that Jim made, and I didn't even remember that he made them. There is actually a documentary I want to go over, which is Shy Boys. Because I don't know if I've ever seen Jim cover it. But that's very funny. That's about like incels and like pickup artists, like virgin pickup artists. It's really weird. I love to see it. The drama is so much right now. Yeah, I mean, like I like talking about odd law, and I like talking about random shit as well. I'm not just a pure drama channel. Because I'd get bored, I'd burn out. And sometimes it's just about getting some just hanging out, really. Not every stream needs to be something like breaking the fucking Chris Tyson logs. I'm not that fucking numbers hungry. Chris the Narc covered Shy Boys. It's so good. Yeah, it's fucking great. Do the bug chasing documentary. I've not seen that actually. I'm just taking recommendations from chat now. Okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going until I can find a stopping point where it feels natural. Though I will say this, maybe we'll slowly read through Shadiversity's book. We'll do like a book club. A Cope and Seethe book club, where I read through this fucking novel. Then I read it so you don't have to. Lyrics mentioned your thread, by the way. I saw. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. It's fair game. And I know that thread annoyed a lot of people. It's fine. Whatever. Burnout, we always thought you gotta work every now and then, and that's why you take breaks. Yeah, that is partly why I take breaks. But I do occasionally burn out. But yeah, if I'm not making stuff, it's because work's crazy, or because I'm just like, I don't want to talk about anything at the moment. You read it, but we're gonna suffer regardless. Ah. Cope and read. Okay, I like that. Sharing the pain for content, true. Okay. Keep going. Let's keep powering through this fucking masterpiece of a novel. Christ almighty. What remarkable and ingenious works of engineering skyships were. Dalen had even designed a few himself, though one, the Annihilator. The Annihilator. Did you spend long thinking of that, Shad? Oh my god, guys. I'm going to call my war skyship the Annihilator. They'll love that. Super creative. I'm a fucking auteur. Fucking hate it. Wasn't something that he was too proud of. With skyships, man had made the world a much smaller place. It was going to be a guilty pleasure to fly in one after 20 years of exile. Dalen looked back down to the city with anticipation. Apart from its fine shield, the city's defences were woeful, only having those 2 battleships to protect it. With a full-sized company of dragons and a single battleship or warship, Dalen knew he could take the city in an hour. Other commanders might have difficulty with those resources. The city did have a border patrol, shield net, and would have a decent garrison, but Dalen would have done more with less. Now that is a sight, Paradan said, looking at the city before him. I agree with you there, Dalen said, but this city is nothing compared to High Dawn. Paradan reached into his pocket at his side and pulled out some red ribbon. He began tying it around his arm, but Dalen snapped at him. Put that away, you blackened idiot. The red ribbon tied around part of the body was a dueling invitation. One could be challenged to a duel without a ribbon, but unless there was sufficient cause for the challenge, there was no shame in turning it down. Ribbons also prompted official duels that would be recorded in the ranking, which were a day's length from a friendly bout. You sound like I'm setting up a picnic in Shade's Nest. The stupidity's more comparable than you give it credit. I'm just looking for a duel or two, Paradan said, with no small amount of bravado. Dalen sighed. In the past, he had been by no means an exception to bragging, but now, having lived for so long, he saw things differently. Yes, the ever-present threat of the Shade and the oncoming night meant everyone had the right to bear arms. Well, arms that could fight the Shade, at least. Which excluded things like shot pikes and rapiers. But that didn't mean one needed to risk their lives to prove themselves. If you knew you were strong, that was enough, but tradition said otherwise. You're not ready to compete in the lists. I really do. Not the city lists. I'm fairly good with a sword, old-timer. One of the best in the village. I've practiced with my brothers since before I could walk. A good foundation, but nothing compared to the precision that comes from being taught by a master. I'm not saying you're a bad match for most in the city, but that's because most know they'd get eaten alive by professional duelists. I still might win. You have a spare sword on you? Paradan looked confused. Well, yeah, of course. There's 3 in the trunk. Stop the wagon. Dalen, I said stop the wagon. Paradan did. Grab one of your spares and helps me down. Paradan stared at him, and Dalen scowled back. That got him moving. Dalen's scowl could turn a shade. Paradan was also probably being more accommodating than he would have been otherwise due to the money. With some difficulty and help from Paradan, Dalen managed to get off the wagon. Dueling invitation? What, like fucking vaping? The man. Got smoke to the duel. Fuck it out. His legs still felt strong, thanks to the bringer's healing. Give it here, said Dalen, holding out his hand. Paradan handed him the longsword. The sword was old, and Dalen could tell by the state of the hilt and scabbard that the blade would need a good oil, but it would do. Dalen drew the blade and threw the scabbard aside. Dalen, what under light are you doing? Dalen ignored him. It felt right to hold a sword again, and yet it was distinctly heavier than he remembered. He had grown so weak. Dalen had once been a Grand High Master of the sword, not that he would tell Paradan that. It was the highest ranking level in the world, and oh, of course it fucking was! This book is actually making me angry. He was the best duelist in the world. He ruled the planet. He ruled everything. He ruled the fucking universe! Is this written for under 12, like, seriously? Because if so, I don't like how he constructs the environment so rigidly haphazard, with plot devices, not the right words, but I'm tired. Yeah, I know what you mean. Gary Sue, yeah. He was the greatest. He was unbeatable, even as an old man. You know. Shad is writing an isekai, isn't he? Oh, fuck. Actually, someone mentioned this before. Yeah, it's an isekai. Dalen is an isekai. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's not an isekai, though. It's not an isekai, because the point of an isekai is you take an untalented character, or a character, like, in a particular situation, and then throw them into another situation which they don't have the same talents. Like Saga of Tanya the Evil, throwing a salaryman into, like, a fascist mage story is interesting because of how a salaryman is, like, how that, like, is portrayed as, like, a young girl. That's a fish out of water story, and essentially isekais are that. I'm gonna be for real. I kind of forgot what was going on in the story. I envy you. I fucking envy you. I'll give you a brief catch up. Dalen, the main character, Dalen the Conqueror, Dalen the Bastard, is traveling to the city to catch an airship so that he can throw himself through some sort of hole in reality between the, like, universe continent things so he can kill himself. That's where we are. Dalen's a cunt. Yeah. I'm going to have spectacularly bland nightmares, aren't I? Yeah. And highest ranking level in the world, and no more than 50 people were alive at any given time who had attained it. With how frail Dalen was, he would be orders of magnitude from the ability worthy of that rank, but he still possessed the knowledge and experience from the rank, along with the added artificial energy from his recent blessing. More than enough to deal with this misguided snot. Dalen breathed in deeply and forced his body to move. He walked with a much stronger gait than before, though he knew he would pay for it later. That was the thing about being frail. Moving slowly and hobbling wherever he went was a way to conserve his strength, not that he couldn't force himself to exert more strength when he wanted to. It just took more effort and was bad for his body. This was going to hurt. Dalen, what's this about? Paradan said as he followed him to the clearing in the shrubbery field. Dalen pointed the sword at Paradan and said, with steel in his voice, Paradan, I challenge you to a duel. Okay, we're on to chapter 2. We are on to chapter 2. He's going to win the duel, okay? There's my prediction. I think we've all heard this plot before, yeah. But this has been fun. This has been a fun Friday piss about stream. Give me a second. Let me actually see if anyone is around. How's everyone feeling? Thank you very much for everyone who's donated and, you know, supported, and to people who've come in from like Tyler's community. I really appreciate you coming and hanging out. I hope you're all well. Did I hear Sunday was going to go live? Is he not doing that now? That's depressing. We'll just send you over there. What's going on? Am I the last person live? Is that it? Is that what we're doing? Fucking hell. Christ, okay. So the book is a counter to the AA handbook. Each chapter makes you more of an alcoholic. Thanks for the fun stream. I love shit like this. Yeah. I was listening to the stream before coming in here. I like the content. Oh, thank you. Yeah, look, I as always, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you who hang out. Very much so. It makes me happy. Only reason I'm here is my wife's out of town. Tyler's like, listen, I would not. It was a good stream. Thank you, Tyler. Yeah, I want to. I will DM you. We'll do something. There's like a couple of things I can think of that we can like chat about and hang out with. It'd be really interesting. Yeah, and fuck, I really enjoyed Tyler's stream the other day as well. That's fucking great. I'm interested to see how some. Do you know what? We'll talk a little bit. We'll talk a little bit of drama at the end. Fuck it. I am really interested to see what happens with this Demon Mama stuff. Some of the shit unfolding's pretty fascinating. I've seen the pickup to Sunday's stream as well, which is interesting. And a variety of takes around that. But I don't know. It's an interesting one because I think things are changing. I spoke about this the other night. I'm starting to see signs now where, like, I look at Quartering, I look at Tim Pool, I look at Libs of TikTok, I look at, like, one thing that I'm finding fascinating at the moment, and I recommend all of you have a look at this, is Dick Masterson's Twitter. In fact, I will bring it up because I was talking to Bestie about this. And I find this really, really fucking fascinating. So Dick Masterson, since a load of things have been occurring, let's use you. Let's bring you up. So Dick Masterson, since a load of things have been occurring on the right, particularly around Rittenhouse and cancellations, seems to be having a little turn on where his, shall we say, some of his positioning is. I don't know if that's entirely fair. Dick is a known troll and has been for a very, very long time. He wrote a book on it, if I recall correctly. But this particular thing, where is it? We'll go and find it. You know, for instance, we've got this. Quartering is calling Bo Black's a pedophile defender now. Weird. And this is like a quote tweet of this. While the Quartering is going around and being like, hey, Doc, can't wait to hear your side of it. I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that Doc came back and started making fucking anti-woke comments. Quartering, you fucking hack. Quartering actually watched, like, it was very funny. Somebody messaged me and was like, you know, Quartering's using your, like, Chris Tyson breakdown thread on Streamer's video. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Don't at me. I don't fucking care. There's a lot of stuff going on around Rittenhouse at the moment, who's come out like in opposition to, like, or saying that Trump doesn't protect the Second Amendment much, so he's getting a load of shit. Pretty sure people who don't want Kyle Rittenhouse to go to prison paid for his lawyers. I'm not the I'm not for MAGA. If not for MAGA, he'd be in prison. Didn't we pay for the lawyers, if I recall correctly? No, you fucking didn't. Actually, for those that remember, while people gave a lot of money to that legal defense, for those who watched that happen around Barnes and everything else, there was a lot of fucking mess around that. It wasn't just a one-to-one. Yes, money was raised, but it wasn't fucking MAGA supporters being like, no, we need to save him for Trump. Fuck off, you. And now everyone's acting like Kyle Rittenhouse owes them something. We can debate whether people think that Rittenhouse was justified or whether there was some like illegality or whether there's like issues with gun control. Like, we can debate that. But the idea that now Rittenhouse owes MAGA fucking voters and should throw behind Trump because that's what he should do is fucking bollocks. Absolute insanity. From Dom, this breaks my heart. It really does. Dear Kyle Rittenhouse, you have been selected to be exposed. What happens next will be a warning to anyone is compromised by money during this pivotal time. Dick Masterson, these people don't deserve to win. Eric, this is an Eric July one, because of course it is. This one, while Carl was at his lowest point in life, facing life in prison with an anger left mob, trying everything they could to lock him up and throw away the key, we stood by him. We sent him tons of money. We cheered for him. Trump stood for him. Now he's smack-talking Trump. I stood by Kyle like you're his fucking wife from Dick Masterson. This is why the weird insult is so effective. These fuckers are weird and creepy. They expect reciprocity in all things, even when it's unasked, and especially from women. Now, this is like a fucking super interesting time for this. Because something that happened during Gamergate, which people don't quite remember, and Dick's like the other side of this almost, is people who had political values on the left went and like sided against feminists because we didn't like the cancel culture, we don't like doxing people, we don't like going after people's jobs, all these kind of things. And despite having very similar politics and in many cases like agreeing on the worldview, it's like you can't fucking do this to people. It's not ethical. It just makes you a dick. Now we've got the situation where we've got sort of this rising right that's much more emboldened in places like Twitter and like media. And I think what may start happening is that right-wingers who care about free speech may start crossing the same divide that left-wingers did who cared about the same thing. It's like, it won't, I don't know whether it'll be a lot, I don't know whether it'll be any, but the fact that Dick Masterson is like, these people are fucking scum, is an interesting take. And all through the Libs of TikTok stuff, Dick Masterson, like when she was like getting like little old ladies fired because she's a cunt, is because Dick Masterson was like, I'm not on your side. I'm on the side of free speech and jokes. I'm on the side of trolling people. Now you can say Dick Masterson likes to troll people, and that's true, but some of these people are his audience, and he'll actively fucking go for them. Isn't Dick Masterson the one who full-throated sucked Rakita's dick in the child abuse case? Yeah, he is. They're friends. There's a lot of shit going on there behind. So Masterson also hates PPP, and PPP exposed Masterson's new project 2 on a Rakita stream. Masterson and Rakita have been friends for a very long time, and Masterson's kind of been supported by Rakita even when Rakita hasn't agreed with him. So Rakita like seems to quite actually disagree with the Eric July stuff that Masterson's on. For those of you who don't know the lore of this is going to be incomprehensible. I do not fucking blame you. But like Rakita sat there on a stream like with Masterson going over the Eric July stuff, and Rakita's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But he still supported them, so hey, look at Elon Musk's favorite site. I have important info. Thank you for the $4.99, Teddy. Tyler, Cat Turd, please help me. I crossed the line. Help me, Cat Turd. They are cancelling me, Cat Turd. Help. What am I looking at? What am I looking at, Teddy? You have to send me something. What the fuck am I talking about? Do I just search Elon? Fucking like, you have a choice tonight, isn't it? Somebody's telling the right has always been the site of Puritanism, always been violence in movies creates crime, always been violence in video games turns people school shooters, always been sex is icky. They just were quiet about it for a while. Yeah. It like there's an interesting thing as well. Like the right adopted some of the tactics of the left for a while, and that's because the left have been very successful in using them. And whatever you want to say about the right, some of them are intelligent. Some of them are very intelligent. And it worked, and it has been effective. It's just unfortunately that, oh god, they're such dicks about everything, and a lot of these people are whiny losers. They're, I'm excited to see a left that's a bit more both reasonable and passionate and self-policing as well. I've always liked seeing call-outs on that side, because you should police your own side. Yeah, the smart ones are pretty scary. Yeah. Like Shapiro, whatever you want to say about him. Like, some people say, well, Shapiro seems smart because he debates college students, which is absolutely fucking true. And at the same time, he's smart enough to know how that plays because he's playing to a wider audience. I tagged you, I'm Kenny. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you for the $4.99. I very much appreciate that. Let me have a look. What we got? Why can't I see this tag? Why can't I see the tag? What is going on today? I feel like I have to find it for Teddy now. Teddy, this stream is now just for you. You are the sole person in the world. And when this tag comes through, I will look at it. Why wouldn't it tag me? Mentions. Gonna mentions. Fuck. I want the left to come back, but I don't want bread tubers. I don't think bread tubers are coming back. Let's, like, in the same way that iDubbbz kind of won the commentary war back in the day, I think H-bombs just won the sort of bread tube war. Everyone's going to be making H-bomb-like content. And let's be clear about H-bomb. The reason his content's so good is because, you know, takes the tactics from something awful. Okay. Let's see if there is a tag somewhere. Is it mentions? Kenny, what's your Twitter at? Teddy, what's your Twitter at? Tell me your Twitter at. Tell me your Twitter at, and I will literally just search you. I will even follow you. Cope and Seed will follow you on Twitter. Fuck. I like Tyler's rant about Ben the Picnicker. Jesus Christ. Just popped on YouTube and saw your live, and I see your title. Oh God's the cringe. Hack wrote a novel. He did. We've just stopped reading it. We got to the end of chapter 1. I will read more of it. I've enjoyed this. We'll do more. We'll get there. I'm currently here, just literally just. Yeah, okay, there we go. Thank you, Teddy. Follow Kenny. What am I looking for? Okay, Kenny. I'm looking at your Twitter now. Oh, it's going to be a replies if you tag me, isn't it? Right, there we go. Oh my fucking god. This took me way too long to find, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. No fucking way. Actually, no way. A deeply personal... Okay, the Reich is Reich. What's Reich is Reich. There are 2 reads. A deeply personal story about Adolf Hitler's search for redemption. Can I just read it? Oh my god, it's actually okay. Fuck. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'll read this. I will read this on stream. We'll have a little. We'll have a little read. Fuck. I'll move it over here. I actually can't believe you wrote this. That's fucking hilarious. In the dimly lit streets of Berlin, where shadows lingered like secrets, Adolf Hitler trudged through the remnants of his life. The cobblestones glistened with rain, reflecting flickering streetlights that cast his figure in an ethereal glow. Broken and tormented, he was a ghost of the man he once claimed to be. A soldier who had fought on the fringes of morality and lost. Years of being the Führer of Germany had hardened him, crafting the Friedensprinzip. I've got no idea how to pronounce that. Thank you, Teddy. From the tumult of war. Hitler had misinterpreted valor. In his twisted reality, violence was a calling, not a curse. The task he had been part of, the task force he had been a part of became infamous, not for its heroics, but for murdering Jews. Christ. Fuck me. Right, okay. Copenhagen does not endorse the writing of Teddy. His hands had been stained with blood, not just the enemies, but innocent lives caught in the crossfire, a fact that haunted him day and night. Hitler knew that the road to redemption isn't going to be easy. He knew that there would be people out there that would never see the change he went through that night in the bunker where he felt like there was no way out, only to be saved by the lightbringer, a benevolent being that sent Adolf on this path. Jesus. Adolf's first mission was simple. He was meant to save a young Jewish boy by the name of Smel Smith from his former ally, Joseph Mengele. Joseph! Hitler yelled out. Oh, Hitler, I missed you, Joseph replied with a smile and a look of fondness for Hitler. You cannot harm that Jew, Joseph, Hitler yelled out. Joseph, confused, shoved the young Jew to the wall and in a confused whisper asked Hitler, What? Hitler, with regret in his eyes, said, Joseph, we were wrong. The Jews are all right, bro. Fucking this. What? I can't believe you wrote this. It's actually insane. Joseph, full of hate, grabbed the young Jew and screamed at Hitler, How could you? You were my messiah, my mentor. Now you side with them. Hitler looked down with a look of guilt, knowing that Joseph is a reflection of him, and said yes. He took out his Luger and shot his friend. Smel Smith looked up at Hitler, still shaking, and asked, Why did you do it? Hitler replied, What's Reich is Reich, and walked into the sunset. Bro! Unironically, still better than anything Shad's written. Unironically, still better than anything Shad has written. Holy fucking shit. Oh, fucking hell. God, that reminds me, actually. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Just quickly. Where is it? Where is it? There's like this super old cartoon where Hitler comes back as like, comes back as like a woke person. and uses like anti-racism to destroy Israel. It's the weirdest old cartoon. I've never been able to find it. Is it not on YouTube anymore? I might have to find it on BitChute and show it to you. Keep going. Yeah, keep writing more of it. I'll read it on stream. Unironically, do it. Fuck it. Not enough dinosaur sex. 7 out of 10. We'll say I will give that a solid 6.5 out of 10, considering the time it took him to write it. Agent Hitler, FBI, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I've got live button now. What have I got? Anyone doing anything interesting? It looks unlike it. I feel bad leaving you guys. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I am going to leave you with a song. I don't know what song. Now Teddy is going to call himself a published writer now in his donos. Yeah. Based. He should. He should. See if there's anything good. Yeah, we'll leave you with that. Okay, cool. Sup from Westside. Good evening, Killjoy. Thank you for your comment, by the way, on the last stream. I really appreciate that. Yes, welcome to all the new followers. Like and subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow night. We will do something. We also have a new podcast episode coming out on Cope and Seethe when I finish editing it. It is on Rose Malay. We go through a load of her history. I think the edit's going to take me a bit of time. I looked over the footage earlier. But that should be out sometime this weekend. And there is also hopefully a now recording stream coming up on Sunday. And there will be a new episode of Internet Explorers next week. I hope, because we recorded it on Friday. Thank you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow night. Be good to each other. And take care. Peace.
I like music to keep me company. I like songs with a sweet melody. When I get bored, I turn on the TV. Or I hold my phone and I stare at the screen. I like noise to keep me company. I like static electricity. When I get bored or don't have energy, I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. I like music to keep me company. I like songs with an artistic streak. I watch the news on the TV so I can stay informed about the enemy. I like to daydream about the bourgeoisie. I like to eat from the apple tree. When I get bored or don't have energy, I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. Because it helps me feel alright. Because it helps me humanize. I like music to keep me company. I like songs with a sweet melody. When I feel alone, nobody's watching me. I power up my computer screen. I like Big Brother to keep me company. I like static electricity. I like Hollywood and the Illuminati. I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. Because it helps me feel alright. Because it helps me dehumanize.